Hey everybody, it's ShadowStar here, and it is finally time for me to go over my top 5 episodes of Arrow Season 4. So, everyone knows by now that Arrow is a controversial season among the fandom. Most people hate it, and while it is true I don't hate Arrow Season 4 as much as most people do, I still struggled to figure out the top 5 episodes, and even these 5 episodes have some weak points. That being said, I still enjoyed moments within each episode, so let's get it started. Starting with my 5th favourite episode, Legends of Today. It's the second half of the crossover, and, well, the first half of the crossover was way better. The problem is, this episode, while it's cool that it's a crossover, has some of the drama with the Felicity crap when she finds out about William. If they didn't include that crap, this episode would have been way better. As much as people say Savage isn't great, I still enjoyed him in this episode. He was a fun crossover villain. It was fun to see the heroes team up. You can't not love, heroes teaming up. You can't not love them taking down Savage. The teamwork they have when the plan finally works out is great. Seeing Savage kill everyone is fun. Seeing Barry go back in time is fun. So there is a lot of good moments despite that Felicity issue. There's a lot of good moments with the teamwork, lots of little fun crossover fan servicey moments. The music is great. It's a crossover, so even if it's one of the weakest crossovers there is, it's still a good one. Speaking of crossovers, Constantine's here because it's Haunted, the episode where we bring back Sarah and we get Constantine in his first proper Arrowverse appearance after his show was cancelled. This is also one of the only episodes where the flashbacks are tolerable because Constantine is in them. It's brilliant. Finally, a flashback that's worthy of watching past season 2. Plus, we get Sarah back, and Sarah's a great character. Constantine has so many great moments, especially when you interact him with bland or down-to-earth characters like Diggle or Quentin. Plus, this episode had a bit of a Diggle and Quentin side plot, so honestly, there was a lot going on in this episode, and there was just a lot of nice, fun, fan-servicey stuff. We finally got, Oliver finding out Sarah's back, bringing back her soul, Constantine being back, all the good stuff you could want. Even if it's not a huge, crazy, spectacular episode, it's Constantine, so that's nice. Moving on to my third favourite, and we have Canary Cry. And this one's a bit of another one where some aspects are annoying because I don't like the new Canary girl. I hate her, it's annoying. But the rest of the episode focuses on Laurel's death. Although she died in the previous episode, this is the episode that focuses on it. And quite frankly, as much as some people hate Laurel's death, there's no denying they did this episode really well. There's lots of good stuff, whether it's Quentin first going through denial and then just going through the emotions of having to accept that she's gone. It's utterly heartbreaking. Quentin's always a character who, if he gets emotional, you get emotional. Seeing flashbacks to Tommy's funeral and getting to see some memorable, good Laurel scenes, even if they're flashbacks, are great. Seeing Laurel's funeral and honoring the Black Canary was great. Honestly, this episode spent most of its time focusing on Laurel. I suppose they had to cram in a villain somewhere, and that's where we got the other Canary, but the rest was a great episode. Loved Laurel's funeral, the flashbacks. Quentin was honestly the best part of this episode. It was so good. There were so many, seeing all the different characters, and Diggle's reaction because he feels guilty about Andy betraying them. So, everyone's feeling guilt or feeling Laurel's death in different ways. And honestly, I really enjoyed this episode way more than I thought, and I try to push aside the other Canary girl as much as I can. Moving on to the second best episode, it's Schism, the finale. Not going to be the best episode, although it's still a good finale. Not as good as other finales, but better than season 3. And I still enjoyed the final fight. It was fun. There's a lot of good Damien Dark moments in this episode. There's a lot of good teamwork. I love when we have a crowd fight. It's kind of like that episode in season 3, Midnight, except here it's like all the people trying to fight against Damien Dark and his people. We get to see them stopping the nukes, as silly as that plot may be. The only downside is the ending's a bit lackluster. The flashbacks are over before you even realize it, and although it's a great fight, it's nowhere near as good as, say, fighting Malcolm Merlin or fighting Slade Wilson. But hey, it's teamwork, it's a fight scene, there's a lot of characters, so I still enjoyed it. But what did I put as my best episode? And I'm not saying this episode is amazing, but it's the best episode of season 4. I've gone with Monument Point, mainly because I feel like it's an episode where everything's happening. You've got returning villains, such as Felicity's dad helping her. You've got returning villains like Brick and Murmur, Brick being one of my favourite non-major villains. You've got Thea versus Lonnie Machin, and as stupid and as annoying as he is, it was still fun to see Thea versus him again. You get all the teamwork, like Malcolm helping out. You get a huge climax with them trying to stop the nukes, but one still goes off and destroys Haven Rock, which is devastating and the most death you'll ever get in an Arrow episode that isn't reversed. So honestly, while it's not even the finale or close to the finale, this episode didn't really have any major bad points as far as I can remember, and it just had a lot crammed into the episode, and that's what I love. I said it before and I'll say it again. These 5 episodes, if you compare them to my top 5 from maybe season 1 or 2, they're not going to be huge, crazy episodes that I absolutely adore, but of season 4, I managed to scrape up 5 episodes, and in the end, that's all that counts. I found 5 episodes, and while it's not... Here's the problem with season 4. While it is collectively better than season 3, I feel like each episode usually has at least one thing here or there. Like, the crossover's got one thing that sucks about it. This episode has one thing that sucks about it. You know, the finale's got weak moments. Every episode has a weak moment, so no episode really feels perfect, and that's the problem. As a whole, those weak little moments don't stand out too much except for some moments in the middle, but in general, every episode has a little weak moment, so it was really hard finding 5 episodes when even these 5 episodes have weak moments here and there, and none of them are truly perfect. But next season is season 5. Some people claim it's the best Arrow season. Do I think so? We'll find out. But, well, I do remember some good episodes in the season, but we'll worry about that next time. I will see you next time for more Arrow Top 5s and other Top 5s as well. See you next time, guys.